Hey guys, Marshall here, and on today's video we are downtown Charleston, South Carolina, and we are going to be installing some landscape lighting. So I'm going to show you guys how I did it. We're going to be up on a rooftop, so y'all come on. Okay guys, so here we are up at the rooftop. I had to take a minute to catch my breath, man. It was quite the hike up here. So what we're gonna be doing is lighting up these planter pots in the corners of the rooftop. We are going to be using a small floodlight from Pro Trade. This is their FL2, and I really like this light. I used it because it's a non-directional light. So I'm using a, well, essentially the bulb is non-directional. It's a small T3, and I'll take this frosted cover lens off. This is one of the reasons why I like this, because up here, I need to have a wider spread of light. And, you know, traditionally I would be using a stake in the ground, but there's nowhere to stake these lights other than in the pots themselves. So I want to get it in one of these front pots and cover as much foliage as I can, which is why I chose this light and this particular frosted lens, because I don't want to throw too much light on these plants. It's a small rooftop deck. You know, they're going to have a fire going. I don't want to brighten this place up at night. I want it to feel warm and sexy, should I say. So that's the light that I've chose. This is the transformer I'm using. It is also a Pro Trade transformer, 150 watt, and I'm not doing a timer. I'm actually just going to be using the on-off switch, because the clients just want to come up in the evening and they just want to be able to flip the switch on when they want lights, and when they go down they just want to turn it off. So it's a little unique as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is get everything unboxed, and I'm going to find out where to install my transformer. I've got an outlet over here. We're going to be doing a small repair on it today and getting a better cover. But what I'm thinking is I'm going to mount my transformer right by the stairs, so when you come up, easy access to the transformer, especially because I'm just using an on-off switch. If I was using a timer, I could essentially put it anywhere on the property, and the timer does the work for you as far as turning things on. So I'm going to install my transformer here and plug it into this outlet. And as far as running my cable, I want to be as discreet as possible. So what I'm going to do is run my cable down this little crack, which we'll actually be trimming in today. And I'm going to sneak it and hide it down this crack as well, and then access the edge of the rooftop over here and make my way around the edges of the outside decking to where you won't see my wire. And then I'll just sneak it up behind these plants, sneak it into my fixture. So let's get started. Okay guys, so what I'm gonna do is set up my transformer here. I want it about right here. My wires are gonna run from underneath. I'm gonna kind of get a pencil here and get myself a little mark as far as where I want it. Gonna level this thing out. Beautiful. So next up, what we're gonna do is we're gonna split our wire here. The nice thing is this is 12-2 low voltage lighting, and you don't really have to worry about a positive or a negative. But if you can see in here, there is a common on both sides of these, and you want one side of your wire going in the common and the other side in either the 12, 13, 14, or 15 volt option. And I'll show you how we get that installed as well. We're just gonna thread these, twist them together, and there's a little port underneath here that you slide them up into, and then you tighten these flathead screws onto the wire itself, and it compresses the wire and holds it into place. And then here's our on-off switch right here. So we're gonna go back about 3/4 of an inch. Sometimes these strippers are good and sometimes they're not. Show you a little trick. Sometimes if I am having trouble, I'll just score a little ring around this with my knife, and then these things bite a little better and they'll just take it right off like that. So I like to fan it out, fan the wires like so. When I'm connecting them to other wires. For this, I'll fan it and I'll twist it. And remember, one side's going in the common, one side's going in, this is a very small amount of light, so I'll probably just put it in the 12 volt. So you're gonna need a small flathead screwdriver for this to insert it into these. All right, here we go. All right, guys, that's my initial hookup. We got one side of that low voltage wire running into the common, the other side running into the 12 volt option. We are hooked up and ready for power. Now what I'm doing is I'm checking out the lighting as far as where I want to position my lights. For this front one, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, how much light am I going to be throwing? What kind of shadows do I want to capture and highlight? What plants do I want to highlight? What features do I want to highlight? So I have two lights initially. This is kind of like right when I walk in the stairs here, you know, is the first thing I see. So this is like one of the main focal points. I have two lights right in the center pot, one throwing left and one throwing right. I'm hoping I'm going to catch the majority of the foliage up here. That little plane. Wow, that's awesome. And then on the corner ones, I mean, it's really like, I'm pretty limited. I can't quite get a light in here. So what I'm doing is I've got it in the far right one. I'm going to cast it a little to the left. This one over here, same thing, I'm in the far right, casting a little left and up. And then over here, I'm kind of in one of the back pot over here. And I'm throwing it all the light a lot more left, because what I'm gonna try and do is hit a lot of shadows onto this little wall right here from the foliage. I think it'll look really cool at night. This is where the clients are going to be hanging out primarily by their gas fire pit that we just installed. And, you know, so when you're looking out this way, you know, I want to see shadows. I want to see some foliage. So that's pretty much it, guys. The last thing I'm going to show you how to do is just connect the lights, and then we'll pop back here this evening and see how it looks at nighttime. Okay, guys, I'm in a tight space here, but I wanted to show you this. So this is how I like to connect these wires. It's threaded wire. I find it best that it grabs itself the strongest if I can fan out both sections of the wire. There again, this is low voltage, so there's not really a wrong way to hook this up as far as a left-right goes, or a positive negative. It's just, you need one wire into one side and the other wire into the other. So here we go. We're gonna twist these guys together. I'm gonna get my gel-filled, you know, this is what you want to use. You want to use a gel-filled wire nut. It's gonna keep that moisture out. And I'm gonna get this nut twisted on here. And I'm gonna twist it till I really see some of the gel starting to come out, and this thing's gonna kind of lock down. You see I got some on my finger here. So that's a good connect. Sorry, Greg's out there behind me working, putting a new outlet on for that transformer. And I like to make sure that we're even here on both lengths of the wire. We're gonna fan them together, making a really nice, tight, unified connection. There you have it. We are connected. Simple as that, guys. I'll show you how we do 3 wires next. Okay, guys. We got to connect these 3 wires here. So the goal here is to have 1 strand of this wire, 1 strand of this wire, and 1 strand of this wire, all 3 connecting. Then the other 3 strands connect. It makes for 2 connections total. I don't recommend going more than that. I don't think it's smart. It's gonna risk not holding you to try and do 4 and 4 of these 12-2 wires. So we're gonna get these split, stripped, fanned out, and connected. Here we go. All right, here we go. 1, 1, and 1. 1 of each strand. All right, we're gonna twist those nice and tight, get a good connect. Oh yeah. But this is the hardest connection point right here, where you get 3 of these wires in one. Just makes it a little tight and awkward, but very doable. Okay, connected here. We're gonna cinch it on until it gets tight. That's all she wrote for that. So we're up here, finishing up the rooftop job, just looking at things now that it's dark out, and I think it looks amazing. These 2 lights in the kind of the front main planter pots, I mean, I think it's just perfect. It's just not too much, not too little. It's got a warm, cozy feeling. The agave, the yucca, the cactus, they're all lit up enough to where you can see them, even though, and you see plenty of the pots as well. Same with here, not too much, not too little. The lights did a fantastic job, and honestly, my camera is making it look even a little brighter than it really is. It's a little bit more of a warmer light than what my screen is showing right now. And then the last one over here, this is probably my favorite. This is kind of where the main hangout area is, and you could see if you were sitting, you know, on a couch here, looking over. It's just really cool seeing the shadows cast of the cactus and this small agave plant. Just looks really awesome up here. Well, hey guys, thanks for watching the video. I just wanted to follow up with a couple additional notes about that particular install. As I mentioned, that's a little bit of a unique install, being that it was a rooftop, you know, trying to light up planter pots. There was not a timer involved. Those particular clients wanted just an on-off switch left on their transformer. So one thing to talk about is timers. I like using it like a digital timer that's going to adjust through the seasons. And timers, typically every transformer, if it doesn't have a built-in timer, it's going to have this little power. When you take the box off, it'll have your on-off switch here, and it's going to have this cord inside of it that you can unplug, and your timer comes with a little plug on it. It's super small and compact. You just plug it right into that port, and then on the side of the timer, that's where you plug in this power source that basically powers the timer. It's a super simple setup. I just, didn't need one on that particular install, so maybe I'll do one on the next lighting job and add that as another video. But that's one thing I wanted to talk about. Another thing is fixtures. How to pick out the right fixtures. Every element about landscape lighting, depending on what you're trying to light up, may require a different fixture. So I would suggest, if you're lighting up something large like a grand tree, a live oak, you're gonna want a large well light or multiple uplights staged in the tree. If you're lighting up something like a palmetto tree, you might just want a single uplight that's gonna get the job done.
If you're lighting up like a column on a house or some brickwork, you may want a small floodlight or a small mini bullet that's not going to be super bright. And you know, even the bulbs themselves can throw different degrees of light, which can be super helpful depending on what it is that you're trying to light up. So, and then path path lights, you've got a lot of options there. The last thing that I'll say is I'm kind of a less is more guy when it comes to landscape lighting. If you light up and brighten the whole yard, it's going to look like a baseball field at night, you know, or a football field. I like it to feel warm, cozy. So I want to pick the best things to light up and aim for less is more when it's possible. Again, so thank you so much for watching the video, and stay tuned, and I'll put some more out there. Thanks.